welcome to the Electric Supercar channel. This week we're going to finish wiring the battery boxes. Let's get to it. All right, this is the rear battery box, starting to populate some of the plugs. So this is a Deutsch connector. Again, I've got these kind of machined out to accept them just perfectly. So that'll work well for both those. I've got the kind of rubber gaskets to seal, not just in here, but also on the outside. All right, so the top row here, this is thermistors, this is cell taps. I didn't want any live energy going into the cell taps, but that is all together. So I think we're good there. I just need to label a few more wires, but I think we're good. That is on this half. I still have to do the other half. This side here, this is for the main power to come in. Essentially this will be the negative most terminal, and it's just got a little bit of clearance problem here that I'll have to kind of cut away here or maybe notch out here. So I'll have to do that real quick, and that'll help determine the bus bar, how it connects to here. So I need to do that one as well. So I had to shave off a little bit of this outside. Again, this is just really to locate. This is where all the power is connected. So I just had to shave a little bit of that off to have clearance from the battery modules. But we've got plenty of clearance. I just had to give some extra just for the plastic. So we'll go ahead and screw that in, tighten it up. That'll be good to go. All right, so this is the piece that will connect the main negative terminal to this first bus bar. And the plane is just slightly out of plane. So I'm gonna go ahead and take it over to my vise and bend it out and then bend it back. So just a little jog that kind of gives me that spacing. Do you remember how I said if I got 30,000 views, I'd get myself a new vise? Well, I really hope it gets 30,000 views because I just broke my vise. Well guys, it is a sad day. My beefy bench vise has broken. So I don't know if you can see that, but that's a crack that goes up there. So this no longer works. Sad day. So the last video I said if I got over 30,000 views, I'd get a new bench vise. I'm gonna have to get a new bench vise either way, and it's not gonna hit 30,000 views, so bummer. That's a little more beefy than my last one. This one that I got, it's a rotating one. So you can lock it in place with this. Then it doesn't rotate anymore. On this side, you got some stuff that's kind of designed more to hold pipe. Also swivels on the base here. And you can lock it in with these. So hopefully this will serve me well for many years to come. Okay, we'll go see if that's enough. So just ever so slightly bends down on the back even. So I think that's all we need though. Now I just need a little bit more. That's pretty good. So we'll see if that's got it now. Okay, we've got this bent and it is just sitting perfect. So I did intentionally not leave a hole because I just thought there was gonna be enough adjustment that we'd drill the hole afterwards. So now I'm gonna go ahead and mark the hole and drill it. Boom. Again, we got to do this on this side as well as on the other side of the battery pack. I have bent this piece here, just like the other side. It'll fit up just perfectly there, so we're going to go ahead and mark it with the center punch. From this high voltage connector to this first bus bar, I've got this piece, and it just needs to bend ever so slightly. We got a little bit of gap here. So we're gonna put a bend here and then another bend here to kind of fix that offset. We gotta do that on both sides. There's one there, one there. So we'll see if that's enough of a bend or if we need to bend more. That's pretty close, but we need just a little bit more. All right, we'll see if that's better. All right, this is number 2. See how that looks. So there's this bus bar, again, bent so it connects with that one really well. And then same thing here. We'll go ahead and do a center punch, drill out the hole, and connect those together. Some people were curious about what things I was using to secure the bus bars together. So I just have a 1032 screw, some Belleville washers. Those are kind of domed washers to add a little bit of spring force. Use some thread locker. I usually keep things a little bit loose when I put them on the battery module so I can kind of adjust things just right. I tighten it down, very tight. I also add this copper terminal paste everywhere where the bus bars are connecting. I've got this plug done. That is for all the cell taps on this side. I've got those plugs, and that is for all the thermistors on this side. So I've got to essentially do the same thing for the other side, but they've all got to be a little bit longer because they've got to go essentially from that side to this side, because all the plugs that I've got are on this side of the box. High voltage and cooling lines are on the other side. So I'll do the same thing and make sure they can come through on this side and go to the various plugs. I've connected all the cell taps as well as thermistors on this side. The plugs are on the other side, so I've got them going through, and I will go ahead and get all these wires made up into a wiring harness and go to, I've got, again, 4 connectors, 2 on each side. I've got everything all wired up. It's a lot of wires. I'll probably use some zip ties and try and clean it up just a little bit. This side looks cleaner because you just have like the connectors and they go through the other side. Yeah, this is what we did for battery box 1. So again, zip tied things up. So we'll do that on this one, and then we'll have 2 of them done. All right, got things zip tied. Not super pretty, but that'll work. So 2 boxes down, 1 to go. I've taken out the battery modules there, but essentially there's 2 there. That's high voltage coming in, so it's going to be like 300 volts or something. Goes from there to here, and then from here to here. So I've got a couple, I'll call them copper spacers, anyways, to join these 2 that are on their way. On this side, though, I need to join essentially the positive on this side to the negative down here, and the way I'm going to do that is with a bus bar. So I'm just going to mark, do a center punch there and there. That way I can connect them like all the others. I will drill, fasten, and then get it ready for rubberized coating. put this one with the others that are ready to be coated. This is my high voltage plug, and it's got these mounting holes, and I didn't get it for the right size. So this is a little too big. Normally, if this was plastic, I'd drill it out. If it's metal, I would drill it out. Because it's got this little metal ring, I'm going to essentially fix my plate down there with some threaded inserts. All right, so I've left one open, but you can see you just drill it out, put threads in. You got these guys that you put into the hole, and then essentially it makes a new thread. It's got kind of thread locker stuff on the outside, but that's what we've done here. So we'll do it here as well. All right, so this is the lower portion of this front battery box, and this is where the high voltage area will be. So I don't have it connected yet, but essentially this is the last series of cells. So right here, this will be connected through here. So this is the positive contactor. So I just need a little copper, I'll call it a spacer or something. I didn't have the length quite right. So I need to join that to that, but then from here, it goes to this. This is kind of the main positive most section. And I've got two plugs. One's gonna go to the front motor, which is this one. The other one will go to the back motor. This is the negative most, so that will go to the very back battery box. That'll be kind of from cell 1. That goes across the fuses, and then here to the negative contactor. And again, this is the negative most one. So these will be the high voltage fuses for some of the smaller items, some of the high voltage ancillary things like AC or heating or things like that. This is also a plug for any wires that need to come in or out, so kind of like some of these 12-volt wires. Beyond this, I designed this all before I selected my CCS fast charging system, and that one also requires an extra set of contactors, and there's another, call it control box. Those all need to be in a high voltage area. So I'm gonna see if they can mount in here or if I need to kind of create a separate high voltage box. I'm gonna go ahead and center punch those ones right there and drill and mount those together. And like all the other ones, we'll rubber coat the outside. Got two more that are ready. All right, so I've got that battery and that bar there together. So that one will be ready for rubber coating. All right, I've got another shipment here from Send Cut Send. I needed one bus bar and some other bus bars, and then these are just kind of some spacers for various things. So Send Cut Send has been a sponsor for me for a long time, and they really make it possible for me to do the things I do. I do want to take a moment though, because the last video I did, I put I think the wrong link in the video description, because when I talked to them, they said, hey, nobody's clicked on your link. And I was like, what? My viewers are the best. They would of course click on the link. So I think many people think that this is, I'll call it an engineering tool or a building tool, which it is, but I'm going to show you how easy it is to do anything with SendCutSend. So really all you need is like an image file, and there are lots of online converters. I choose the ESP file type. You just drop it in and you can select your material, and it is insanely inexpensive, comes really quick. So please check out the link in my description, click it this time so we can keep using SendCutSend. There was one additional bus bar I needed to make, essentially from this terminal that connects kind of the main battery box to this one. Then it will go to these ones. So got that one made. So this was the other one. I had, again, these bus bars already made, but I needed to join them. So what that is in the middle looks like pancakes. Are these copper washers, kind of like shims almost, because I didn't know how many I needed. So got that together, put some of the copper terminal paste in between them. That's what looks like the syrup, and squished them all together. So I will now unbolt this and coat the whole thing with the rubber coating. All right, I'm trying to complete the high voltage section here. The fuses are way too close to that back wall, so I'm going to take them off and cut off some of the copper just to provide a little more space. All right, I've been wiring these are the interlock wires. This just can tell the system when any of the high voltage things are unplugged. And so basically these are gonna be, I'll say, kind of daisy chained from one to another. So essentially it makes one complete circuit. So I'm gonna have, you know, like this wire going to that wire going to this one going to that one going to that one. The challenge is if you make all those wiring connections, then you can never remove these connectors. What you have to do is you kind of have to make a wiring loom, and you have to kind of consider that part of like the structure. So that loom is going to stay here, and it needs to have connections for all these. I purchased the high voltage interlock connectors, and what I'm doing now is all these connectors have these little wire leads, and this really detects when the plug is plugged in and when it's not. So I'm just checking all these, so once I get everything together, if I have an issue, it won't be this. So in theory, I push this on and I've got this set to continuity, so everything should make a sound. There it goes. Come on. We put some things back together. This is really just to make sure we can now make, I'll call it the wiring loom, for these top battery modules as well as the bottom battery modules, route all the wires where they need to go. I am going to connect all the high voltage connectors and just test that the high voltage interlock works. Yes, first try. So essentially the high voltage interlock loop, think of it as like one continuous loop that goes through all the connectors, and if the plug is inserted in the connector, it makes the path, and if it's not, it's open. So again, if all the paths are closed, you get a closed circuit and it knows that all the connectors are connected. That is the purpose of the high voltage interlock loop. The battery box, I've left this section here for kind of high voltage things, and I did not at that time have all the components needed for the CCS fast charging. So those two contactors as well as a fuse need to go in. I think I can maybe put them back there. It also came with this Deutsch connector, so I figure I could maybe put that in this plate here, but I need a hole for that. And the other thing is I might choose to do a slightly larger one because I'm pretty full with this one, and I think there might be enough wires that I need more. All right, not too bad for just a hole saw and a Dremel. So we'll test fit it now with the plug. Oh yeah, and it's not going anywhere. That's great. All right, there it is. So we need the plug on this side. We need one more on that side, but that'll work great. So there's one down, one to go. All right, here's the second one. It is all done as well. Yeah, that's super tight, nice. All right, I think I figured out where things are gonna go. This plug will go, obviously it's gonna be mounted from underneath, but it'll go back right about here. I've gotta have this fuse, and I'm gonna mount it on this back plate here. And then these two will be kind of in this area. The only one I had to move is this relay. I'm just moving it on this side, give a little more room. All in all, not too bad if I can make it all work. I think that works great. 1 for 1. Oh, there, we just had it upside down maybe? Ah! So I've got one going from this fuse to this one. I'm going to call this one the positive contactor for the charging. And then on this side going to this one here. This one happens to be a little bit too far this way, so I just need to take a little bit out. This one goes from here up to there, and that one I think works pretty well. I don't know that I could do much better. And this one goes from here, God, there's so many wires in the way, down to there, and you can see there's just a little gap there. So again, we'll probably see what we can do to make it exact, and then we'll get them sent off to be made. So the first go around, this one I think was spot on. The other three were very close, but I wanted to make some changes. I'll say it's just kind of hard to measure in three-dimensional space. I think that's got it. So we got those bus bars designed. They look like they'll work pretty well. We'll get those sent off to Send Cut Send. I almost forgot, we have 2 other people that are interested in some electric conversions. Let me show you those 2. We have an old Chevy pickup truck or an MGA. If you're interested in having your project done by me, send me an email, electricsupercar@gmail.com. We got a lot of wiring done. The battery boxes are looking good. Next on those boxes will be to disassemble, and we're gonna coat them with truck bed liner. So we'll leave that for another time. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. I almost forgot. Okay. Come on, buddy. Down, out, and that one goes down. So one comes towards me. I don't know which way that goes then. Oh, holy cow, buddy, come on.